Well, at this moment, viewers, it is possibly the biggest escalation that we've seen so far from Pakistan, as earlier this evening, Pakistan launched multiple missiles and drones towards Indian cities. Heavily populated Indian cities were targeted. We first heard the air raid sirens in Jammu, after which we received confirmation that multiple drones were also spotted in Jaisalmer and other cities bordering Pakistan. India's robust air defense system managed to thwart Pakistan's Hamas-style attack. Multiple Pakistani drones and missiles were intercepted by the Indian air defense systems. One Pakistani fighter jet pilot has also been detained, is the latest information that we have. We are still waiting for a confirmation to come in from official sources. But let's show you exactly what has happened so far graphically. If you take a look at Pakistan's Thursday misadventure, you will see the cities that were on target. From Udhampur to Jammu, from Pathankot to Chandigarh, from Sriganganagar to Phalodi to Barmer, and then going up to Jaisalmer. All of these cities were on target. In Jammu, we also saw the university being targeted with drones, and all of these drones in all of these areas were actually neutralized, and that was the success of our air defense systems. But then India did not want to take it lying down, and we hit back. We hit back in Muzaffarabad, Peshawar, Islamabad, Gujranwala, Kotli, Sargodha, Sialkot, Faisalabad, Lahore, Karachi. All of these cities of Pakistan were on India's target. Now, Pakistan, not one successful drone strike by Pakistan. Of course, we have our fingers crossed, and may all our brave men remain absolutely safe. But it's also the prowess of our defense systems that not one drone could harm one single particle in India. Now, latest news coming in, we are learning that the Ministry of External Affairs will hold a briefing at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The latest that will be given in terms of the official status of what is the strike that India has been able to get any dividends on. But at this moment, we are very clear as far as Pakistan is concerned. Its misadventures have cost it not just its self-respect in the world, they've got a complete dressing down from the United States of America. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, speaking with Pakistan, has given them a piece of their mind. A conversation with the External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar clearly showed the support that United States has had for India. Joining me this evening is Rishabh and my colleague Pradeep. Rishabh, to you first. Briefing 10 a.m. in the morning. What are you learning? It's all working tonight as far as North and South blocks are concerned. Any updates that you're getting on any further conversations? We've had conversations with the EU, Italy, many Western powers. We are also in touch with the United States of America. What are your sources in the Ministry of External Affairs telling you?
Well, Namika, what we are given to understand right now that India has opened channel with almost every global leader, from United States to UK to Italy to France to even Gulf countries, what we are given to understand. Junior Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia came India without any prior announcement today. There was no media, media briefing about it. There was no media advisory about it. The Junior Foreign Minister was here. What we are given to understand that he would be reaching Islamabad as well tomorrow. Saudi trying to de-escalate things between India and Pakistan. But remember, India is very clear. Foreign Ministry yesterday at the meetings of the UNSC envoys here in South Bloc categorically said the original escalation was April April 22nd. Whatever happened after that, what we did on the intervening night of 6th and 7th was a response to it. What happened yesterday was another escalation. What we did in the morning with the Lahore AD was a response. In last 5 hours, Pakistan has violated Shimla agreement with every possible point. Every possible point of Shimla agreement has been violated in last 5 hours. India is now responding, and that's the reason that be it Lahore, be it Sialkot, be it Karachi, be it Islamabad, be it Muzaffarabad, all have been bombed by India. But India in its response has shown tremendous restraint, and as the Foreign Secretary has said, India do not intend to escalate matter. But if Pakistan escalates, we will respond very, very appropriately. Now, what we are given to understand that tomorrow morning we'll have a press conference. Most likely the same trio that have been holding press conferences for last 2 days will hold a press conference tomorrow around 10 a.m. is what we are given to understand. And remember, this time it will not only be about operational details that we have seen in last 2 days. This time around, we are also to announce what we have been reporting. We have shot down multiple Air Force planes of Pakistan. One F-16, what we are given to understand, has been shot down in Jaisalmer. The pilot is alive and in custody of our security forces. There are 2 other JF-70s that have been shot down. An AWAC aircraft has been shot down, and one aircraft that has yet not been identified has also been shot down. 4 fighter jets, 1 AWAC system has been shot down by India in last 5 hours. Any drone that was fired, any missile that was fired from Pakistani side has not hit the target in last 24 to 30
and Rishabh, that is the success not only of the Indian Defence Forces, the success of the Indian diplomacy, which was on test, clearly showing that India stands head and shoulders above any other nation at this point in time, doing what it needs to do to keep its own civilian citizens completely secure in this country. Not just that, the state-of-the-art technology, the state-of-the-art defense systems clearly holding India in good stead. Political will, exemplary, the manner in which this has been planned strategically, the manner in which it has been executed with the tri-services coordination is something that the world is watching, and we in India as citizens salute this great achievement of not just our armed forces but also of the political establishment here. Also with me, Pradeep Datta at this moment. Pradeep, all of the drone strikes, missile strikes across the border on the western side saw many attempts by Pakistan, each one of them thwarted by India. Pakistan had a bloody nose on day 1. On day 3, it's probably stripped of the last vestige of self-respect that any nation should have. It's down to its knees. What do you look at this point in time from your sources in the defense sector on what will be the retribution and escalation from here on?
See, Navika, one thing is quite clear, that you rightly said that because Pakistan has realized one thing, Pakistan Army and Deep State, that they are not dealing with the sheep state. This is a Mazboot Bharat, and Mazboot Bharat has already given them a befitting response. From day 1 we have seen the Prime Minister, when he asserted, Mitti mein mila dunga, he conveyed a message loud and clear that we are going to avenge Pahalgam. And they did it with Operation Sindoor, and we saw that for the first time it was about 25-minute operation, 24 missiles fired, 9 terror den completely decimated, demolished, more than 100 scale. And after that we have seen Rattle Pakistan, what they started doing. They opened artillery fire. They in fact violated the Vienna Convention. As per the Vienna Convention, you can't target civilian even during the wartime. That time the war was not declared, even they started targeting innocent unarmed civilians. That's what actually Pakistan is good at, because they can't match might of Indian military. And so they started targeting the civilians. 16 civilians lost their lives. In fact, today Vikram Misri, who is the Foreign Secretary, during the press briefing, he said that even the Gurdwara Sahib in Punch was targeted, and these 3 people lost their lives. lives. And since then we have seen that there has been escalation from Pakistan side. But what is really important to note is that short while back there was a Ministry of Foreign Affairs statement that came from their side. They were once again in denial mode. In their pictures, in fact, narrate the whole story. The world has seen that how they had fired the projectiles from their side. The drones were there trying to target Jammu, Pathankot and other areas. So Pakistani Mofa's statement is saying, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that it is the Indian media that is showing that something of that sort has happened. Pakistan is not at all involved.
Been in denial mode, and Pakistan's fakery definitely not taken at any level as a credible denial by anybody in the world today. Pakistan stripped of any vestige of self-respect that it had probably in the past. But thank you, Pradeep and Rishabh. We'll keep returning to you. Joining me in the studio is my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary, who's seen several decades of covering the defense sector. I'm also joined by Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, Major General G.G. Divedi, Squadron Leader Varlin Panwar, Colonel, joining us in just a bit, Colonel Dinesh Nain, Lieutenant General Ashok Shivane also joining. First, beginning with some breaking news that Srinjoy has for us. Srinjoy, our naval prowess now on test. You have information from your sources that elements of the Eastern Naval Fleet have now been moved to the west in the Arabian Sea, and the Navy is continuing a deterrent posture. Give us the details of what your sources are telling you.
Yes, not the entire Eastern Fleet, which is a very substantial fleet, but some elements of the Eastern Naval Fleet have moved to the Arabian Sea. Now that's a very important development, and this has happened for the first time like this since the Kargil operations of 1999. So some elements of the Eastern Naval Fleet, which is a substantial fleet, very strong fleet by itself, has moved to the Western Naval Command site in the Arabian Sea. What we hear, as you rightly said, is about the deterrent posture. Yes, the Navy in all three forms, undersea, surface and air, they are continuing their work in the North Arabian Sea, and it's being called a strong deterrent posture naturally in the North Arabian Sea. What I'm hearing is, as you again said, all three services are working in cohesion to deter Pakistan and stop, but all combat platforms in the North Arabian Sea are in good shape. What we are also hearing is that the Navy is well aware of the movements of the Pakistani Navy, but its level of capability is not anywhere near the Indian Navy. So there is a sense that they will not be able to do a huge amount of damage even if they tried their best.
Absolutely,
so
and
that's where we are
none of
right
their
now.
drones have cut any ice. Our air defense systems clearly show their prowess. Let me go straight across to General Raj Shukla. The manner in which our air defense systems have thwarted every single move of Pakistan, their drones and missiles sent to India this evening clearly haven't worked. Pakistan, is it losing its edge as far as its military, they've been talking about their nuclear bomb, but if their nuclear bombs are anything like the drones that they've sent across, does that give them too much of staying power in this conflict in the coming days, General Shukla?
So Navika, just let me make 5-6 very quick points based on what you said, but I think something much larger is afoot. And what is that? I see the beginning of the end of this terror nuclear nexus. And that is extremely significant, because what you said, in my view, this nuclear weapon bogey in the manner that Pakistan uses it is a schoolboy bluff. No serious military nuclear professional will even consider that. And see how has it started unraveling. That's one point. The second is, look at the choice of Pakistan in its military collaboration. The biggest colluder, China, what did it offer? JF-17s, J-10s, the H-9s. They all have come a cropper. Whatever happened to all this stuff? Their second collaborator, we were told Turkey is a drone superpower. It has given dronery to Pakistan. Whatever happened to those drones? So bad choice in collaboration. In our case, we must acknowledge, I haven't seen this for years. I was a brigadier in the MO Directorate in many crises of the past. I have not seen this politico-military convergence. And I think for that, the singular credit has to go to the Honorable Prime Minister. It really is a fact. Point 4, I see a very astute leveraging of the escalatory ladder. Now, whoever is the brain behind it, possibly the Chief of Defence Staff, Anil Chauhan, he deserves credit. And I'll tell you why. What did we do in the escalatory ladder this time? We told the Pakistanis, you make a choice. If you want to bolster the terror ecosystem, you will have to face our conventional might, because we call your nuclear bluff. And in doing so, I think we were very artful. We said we will target only the terror ecosystem. We'll expand it from Muzaffarabad to Punjab. This time we will hit your heart from Rawalpindi to Raiwind, Punjab. And that is what prompted Asim Munir to take this suicidal step which he did in the evening. And this time, look at our AD topology, how it's done wonders. The S-400 strategic systems, the Akash Thieves, the MR SAMs, the V-Shorads. I mean, it's a brilliant day. And we have brought down the lead aircrafts in their inventory, almost global class, F-16s, JF-17s, AWACS. It's a force multiplier. The eyes of any Air Force. If the AWACS is gone, they have nothing to see. It's a phenomenal achievement, which has happened just by very astute leverage of the escalatory ladder. 5 is what you pointed out. I have been saying for pretty long that the flank of decision is the maritime flank. And if all that you tell me along the, what Siranjoy said, the Eastern Fleet, parts of it moving to the Western Fleet, this time that may be the flank of decision. The document of surrender may be signed in Karachi this time. I mean, that may be hyperbole, but it has been wonderfully orchestrated. And I would just like to end with this point. I recall in 1971, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, after Bangladesh was created, said that the two-nation theory has been buried in the Bay of Bengal. On the 16th April, Asim Munir once again invoked parts of the two-nation theory. This time, it may be reburied, but in the Arabian Sea.
Absolutely, and Arabian Sea it will be where it is buried. But let me also get in Major General Dwivedi. Major General Dwivedi, the world pressure is there. America has dialed Pakistan. But who's going to take that call? Is it going to be the Pakistani political establishment, which is literally tottering? They've been, you don't need the Indian Defence Forces. In fact, on foreign media, they've been unmasked, some by their own volition and some by, the kind of questions they have been faced with. The fact of the matter is the the Pakistani political leadership has literally been reduced to a joke. So who's going to take these calls, and is anybody in the army listening to the political establishment? Is that why so far America's calls haven't really shown much effect?
Well, Lavika, the mention was made on 1971 and I fought that war. And what I'm seeing today is almost 54 years later that India's response is so well integrated. Again, going back to 1971, they had a general who was responsible for the division of Pakistan, and we have another general, Asim Munir, who is going to be leading Pakistan on the same path because he belongs to the same stable. The point at issue is, in Pakistan, there is no civil government. It is just only a front face. It's the army which runs the show, which runs Pakistan. So, civil government is given a narrative, which they read. Sometimes they get the narrative late, so they are post-dated. But the point at issue is, it's all army show. And Asim Munir now realizes that he possibly got the wrong narrative. last 3.5 decades, and I have spent multiple tenures in, LOC and in Valley, that we have been only fighting this proxy war either on the LOC or in the interior, getting a grid tightened. But this is the first time that Pakistan has realized that war is now right across the LOC. We did two, actions in 2016 Uri and 2019 Barakot, but that was not a medicine strong enough. Pakistan required a chemotherapy, surgical therapy, and that is being given. I think now they have realized that the cat is out of the bag, and their nuclear crying, willow is not making any sort of impact on the global community. And my last 2 points. First and foremost, now that India has taken on a pledge to end this proxy war, we should take this whole issue to logical conclusion. Because global polity will always play one against the other. And America also talks in two languages. They blow two horns at the same time. And China, was the first reaction in China, I know that what China can do for Pakistan, they will only tell them,
well,
okay, go in the ring.
If China wanted to market their weapons and defense systems anywhere, then Pakistan has literally cost them their marketing tools, because nothing from China or Turkey have actually worked for them. And this is the worst advertisement for Chinese defense equipment or Turkish drones for now. But breaking news coming in. I have big news coming in. Gujarat, the ports have been asked to be absolutely go down to a blackout. The Mundra port has cancelled all berthing plans, blackout in Gujarat ports. Kandla port as well. All vessels at the Kandla port have been asked to switch off their lights, and there is a blackout even in the Kandla ports. All shipping movements are postponed until daylight breaks. That's the big news coming in from the ports of Mundra as well as from Kandla. We also have more breaking news coming in. At around 11 p.m. This evening, the BSF has foiled a major infiltration bid at the international boundary in Samba district of Jammu and Kashmir. So we clearly know the reason why the shelling was going on, the reason why Jammu, Pathankot, Samba, Akhnur, all of these areas had drone attacks earlier this evening. Infiltration bid once again being tried by Pakistan, foiled by the BSF, and clearly it's been a bad luck day for them. And General Shivani, I want to ask you, is the Pakistan defense system totally rusty from equipment to men? The fact is, they thought they were training terrorists to be army officers. Neither the terrorists have survived, and when they've taken on the role of their infantry, clearly hasn't worked. Nothing's worked for them.
Absolutely. We must realize the center of gravity of Pakistan is the Pakistan Army. And the character and DNA of the Pakistani Army revolves around terrorism, not on professional matters across the boundary. And when in adversity, like they are hit, they start looking over their shoulders how to escape and find safer heavens in the lighter vein. But having said that, we must realize that what is unfolding today is a multi-domain, high-technology warfare which has been responded by India, and you are seeing a dawn of a new deterrent page in the Indian military strategy. You've seen the political will, you've seen the tri-service synergy and the capability, and you've seen the strategic messaging to the global community. All of these synergize together at the national level with a single aim, that terror, there is zero tolerance for terror, the onus for escalation lies with Pakistan. Any misadventure by Pakistan will be met by a proportionate and if not a disproportionate response. But all the same, being a mature nation, it will be restrained, it will be focused to hit where it hurts and hurt where it lasts. And we have seen this happening. Another point that I would like to highlight is what has been different than in the past, or what has been different, which has first time manifested after 1971. You have seen today the international border being heated up, the missile, the drone and the aircraft also possibly crossing over. Some news of the aircrafts, Pakistani aircrafts being hit, and even some pilots we come to know with greater clarity. But the point of it is entire Western Front is activated. And once it gets activated, there is nothing known as a border. And that gives the freedom to India, and Pakistan must understand this, that gives the freedom to India to strike back with impunity, with lethality, and in such ferocity that it is going to hurt Pakistan. The aerial domain has been activated, the land domain has been activated in terms of crossfire fire assaults. The Karachi harbour, there are talks of some drone strikes on it, and the sea front has been activated. The cognitive domain has been activated by the IWT activation. The non-kinetic front has been activated. And the best part of, I think, this response counter-strike episode, if I may call this, is that they have failed in their response mechanism to breach the well-integrated, multi-tiered, multi-layered air defense systems, implying that we were fully prepared for such a response.
We were fully prepared, and Pakistan literally has been caught completely napping, literally with no face saver in their favor. And now we are getting visuals. That's breaking news coming in. My colleague Hiten joins me from Ahmedabad, where information on heightened security measures in Gujarat have come in. Hiten, also want to know about the port security, Kandla as well as Mundra ports on high alert and blackouts there, complete impacting of berthing activity. What else can you tell us in terms of the security measures across Gujarat?
बिल्कुल देखिए, इस वक्त मैं भूज में मौजूद हूं और करीब 9:20 पर कंप्लीट ब्लैकआउट किया गया था। मैं आपको तस्वीरें दिखाऊंगा सीधी। पीछे की तरफ अगर आप देखेंगे तो पूरी तरह जो है ये ब्लैकआउट जो है आपको नजर आएगा। पूरी सिटी जो है इस वक्त ब्लैकआउट जो है वो हो चुकी है। हालांकि इस कच्छ के बॉर्डर पर सरक्रिक के पास 6 ड्रोन पाए गए थे 9:30 के आसपास, जिसमें से 3 को मार गिराया गया है और बाकी 3 अब तक जो है वो मिसिंग है। उसके बाद लगातार जो है भारतीय सेना पूरी तरह से एक्टिव हो चुकी है। कच्छ की जो 370 किलोमीटर का जो बॉर्डर है वहां पर। दूसरी तरफ एक मैसेज ये तक मिला था कि द्वारका में ओखा पोर्ट के पास इंडियन नेवी तक को स्टैंड बाय कर दिया गया है। आपको मैं बता दूं, सिर्फ कच्छ, पूरा कच्छ जोन ब्लैकआउट नहीं किया गया है, कच्छ के साथ बनासकांठा, क्योंकि बनासकांठा भी बॉर्डर रेंज है। उसके अलावा नजदीक का जो एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है पाटन, उसे भी जो है ब्लैकआउट जो है वो कर दिया गया है। और दूसरी तरफ मैं आपको बता दूं तो कंडला पोर्ट, मुंद्रा पोर्ट पूरी तरह से ब्लैकआउट कर दिया गया है और पूरी तरह से बंद कर दिया गया है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से एक शंका थी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को कि अगर कोई हरकत होती है, नापाक हरकत होती है पाकिस्तान की तरफ से, तो आर्थिक नुकसान इन पोर्टों पर हमला करके ना किया जाए, इसीलिए उस पोर्ट को पूरी तरीके से एक्टिविटी जो है क्लोज कर दी गई है और ब्लैकआउट कर दिया गया है। दूसरी तरफ आपको बता दूं कि जो 9:30 के आसपास जो ड्रोन्स दिखे थे, उसके बाद अब किसी प्रकार का कोई मूवमेंट जो है वो हुआ नहीं है, लेकिन इंडियन आर्मी की तरफ से, इंडियन एजेंसीज की तरफ से पूरी तरह से मुस्तैदी जो है दिखा दी गई है। सारे बॉर्डर पर अलर्ट कर दिया गया है और ब्लैकआउट एक अवेयरनेस के तौर पर रखा गया है कि किसी भी प्रकार की कोई हरकत जो है फिर एक बार हो नहीं, क्योंकि 9:30 के आसपास 6 ड्रोन भेजे तो गए थे, लेकिन वो ड्रोन की नापाक हरकत जो है वो उनका मंसूबा जो है वो कामयाब नहीं हो पाया। हमारे एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम ने उसे मार गिराया और लगातार
गुजरात में नहीं चला, राजस्थान में नहीं चला, जम्मू कश्मीर में नहीं चला, पंजाब में नहीं चला। पाकिस्तान को इतना फेलियर शायद एक दिन में इतना कभी नहीं मिला। लेकिन मोर ब्रेकिंग न्यूज, थैंक यू हितेन, विल कीप कमिंग बैक टू यू। एट द मोमेंट वी आर गेटिंग ओपनिंग न्यू ब्रेकिंग इंफॉर्मेशन coming in from Bathinda, and these visuals that we are now going to show you on air. Pakistani drones were now sighted in Bathinda, which have been neutralized by the Indian air defense systems. Once again, Bathinda, another area where the drone attacks did take place some time ago. These are deferred visuals. May I reiterate, we are only showing you deferred visuals. We do not want to compromise any ongoing neutralization efforts of the defense forces, and we will only give you deferred visuals. We are in no hurry. We don't want to give up any operational details at a time when these neutralizing efforts are on by our forces. But these visuals coming in from Bathinda, once again another desperate attempt by Pakistan and Colonel Dinesh Nain. My question to you is, how many of these small little firecrackers is Pakistan going to fire? Because none of them have made any impact on the ground. Despite that, Pakistan probably not getting the message that its plan is literally something that it needs to be thrown into a waste paper basket.
Well, Navika, Pakistan was depending on the Chinese hardware a lot. Although they got some drones from Turkey, TB2, but Indian air defense system today has done remarkably well. They have shown the Turkey as well as China their place. 2 JF-17 aircrafts were shot down just near Samba sector, and 1 F-16 is shot down near Jaisalmer. Even the pilot has been caught by BSF and is being handed over to defense forces. As far as the Navy is concerned, they have been given a green signal. Navy has moved with INS Vikrant and its strike group. They are very close to Karachi, and all blasts which we are hearing in Karachi are basically from the drones fired by Indian naval ships. As far as the situation in Pakistan is concerned, Navika, it's a chaos going on. Supporters of Imran Khan have come out in huge number, and they are demanding that Imran Khan should be released right away. Whereas BLA has stepped up the attack in a very in every area in Balochistan. They have, in fact, a lot of news is coming that most of the police posts have been captured by BLA, and they have hosted their own flag. In Quetta itself, the Frontier Force headquarters, the BLA army is attacking at 3 places in Quetta, and they are literally now fighting with the army, Pakistan army in Balochistan. As far as the situation in Poonch area is concerned, Navika, there is a lot of heavy shelling going on from Uri till Baramulla, Poonch, Rajouri, your Mender, Mankot area to Nowshera and till Samba. But heaviest firing is being observed in Poonch, and there was a huge blast reported in Muzaffarabad just about 15 minutes back, and a lot of people, I think, have suffered casualties, as well as there are a lot of injuries that people have been suffered, and the hospital in Muzaffarabad is having chaos. The situation right now, it is basically, we can say that although we are not declaring that India and Pakistan are now, I mean, it's a war going on between both the countries, but if you see it on ground, I think it's a war.
Absolutely. But at this point, we are given to understand that as far as the situation on the ground is concerned, every single drone and missile that has been sent our way by Pakistan has been neutralized. But India has had major successes. Their aircraft have been shot down. Two JF-17s, we are told, some unidentified aircraft. But Squadron Leader Panwar, my question to you is it possible that probably the Pakistani services, air defense systems, their pilots, their, overall, the manner in which they've mounted this attack on India, everything is failing? There must be something wrong in either their coordination or the manner in which they're using their equipment, or the fact that they've been conned by being sold some very bad equipment.
Thank you, Navika, for this question. I really wanted to have this kind of conversation because, to be very frank, you can hand over a smartphone to a person, but you need a smart person to make that phone actually work in a smart manner. So at one point, we can say that the system that is given to them is failing at different level, but it's also machine and man behind the machine. So we should not neglect at this point in time that they are also lacking in their training and strategic planning. Because whenever this kind of any episode happens, any war-like situation or war happens, there needs to be a proper war plan that a forces follows. And in this situation, it is clearly visible that they are doing something just for the sake of doing it. They have been attacking all the forward bases of, northern and western bases of India, whether it is military or base or airport like Jammu. So there is no proper planning behind it. They just want to show their strength and they want to do something, maybe to show some kind of, yes, for their citizens. And they are doing it and failing miserably. It is not giving them anything. However, in our situation, when we took time from 22nd April till today, when we did what we did on 7th, we planned. We moved from one place to another. We did our planning, strategic planning. And even in peacetime also, leave aside this situation, even in peacetime, our armed forces, Indian armed forces, we do a lot of exercises. We do a lot of near real-time exercises, which actually helps us during this type of situation. There's a saying, Navika, that, you must have heard it zillion times, but I'll still repeat it, that more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. And that's what is happening here. It clearly shows that the jets that they claim that, F-16, that it can carry missile like AMRAAM, which has a range of around 120 kilometers, clearly did not do the work. Right? And also JF-17, which they have taken from China, clearly is not fulfilling the need that they bought it for. So everything is falling flat. They are not able to achieve their objective, not only by the machine, but definitely man behind the machine is also failing.
Absolutely. Squadron Leader Panwar, I completely agree with you. But let me go across to the big diplomatic news that we're getting. The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke separately with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and then the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. But the difference in the tone and tenor of the conversations could not have been starker. To India, Rubio expressed his commitment to against terror, and to Pakistan he reiterated his calls to take concrete steps to end any support for terrorist groups. But the overall focus was on de-escalation. Let's listen in to this soundbite when this question on what was said to Pakistan was asked of the US spokesperson.
Focus of the Secretary of State, who has been the center point leading these conversations and this outreach, and he's made very clear, focusing on two things: that this should not escalate. This has been a key framework. Clearly, this has been an issue for decades, and it's with what we saw over the last few weeks after the terrorist attack. It was not surprising, but very, very disappointing. But it was about certainly that it should not escalate, and communication was fundamentally key, that there should be talks, that there should not be silence, and that America obviously was in the center of this in speaking with a variety of leaders of both countries over the last 2 days.
Well, that was the spokesperson of White House clearly making it absolutely crystal clear. India has the support of the United States. Pakistan has been told to end its support to the terror groups. Pakistan quite hasn't learnt its lesson yet. The fact that begs an answer, and I want to ask this, General Ashok Shivane, where is Asim Munir? Nobody cited him. There's absolutely no word. We've spoken about the fact that there is total convergence as far as the political establishment in India is concerned and our defense establishment, the planning, the strategy. Everything is done so coherently, so consciously, and in complete harmony. The direction, the goals are clear, the strategy is laid out. But look at Pakistan. Pakistan, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and the general in action is nowhere to be seen.
Yes, you're right. Just before Pahalgam, 3 days before that, General Munir was boisterous, rants, and he was communal in his speech, and he was absolutely anti-India in his context. But suddenly he seems to have lost his voice and has become invisible. And like I said, the center of gravity of Pakistan is the Pakistan army. And if you're going to discredit the Pakistan army and the leadership in the eyes of the nation, then you would have won this war against terror. And how are we winning this? How are we discrediting General Munir and his army in the eyes of the nation? Firstly, we hit their terrorist targets, which are supposed to be protected by them. And you saw the funeral, state funeral being given by them, and the entire state machinery, the police, the armed forces, everyone joining in that funeral. Second, we neutralized their response. They were always talking of high technology weapons, but it is as force multipliers. But they forgot the prefix is force. If these weapons only multiply the force, if that force lacks leadership, if that force lacks strategic planning, if that force lacks the training and capability, then I'm afraid it's not a force multiplier, and therefore all their responses were most effectively neutralized, which led to a situation of absolute frustration, and not only within the Pak army, but a very clear message to the nation that they will not be able to do what they want to do. To add salt to the injury, we optimize our resources in a multi-domain operation, optimizing the political military synergy and the tri-service synergy. And we not only gave our responses, but we were thoroughly planned, postured, and prepared for the next level of escalation, clearly mentioning to Pakistan that the onus of escalation is yours. Along with this, look at what's happening in Pakistan. They are getting a beating by BLA, who's looking at this as an opportunity. So they are physically, psychologically, morally at a low which has never been there I think it's a low even below 71, and therefore you won't find too much of Munir musings during this time, because he has lots of, he has got a loss of pace. He's desperate, he's frustrated, and all that they are doing, Pakistan, is narrative warfare, because they can't fight the physical domain as such. Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely, General Shivane. But I'm happy to tell you, viewers, that viewers in the United States of America also tuned in to Times Now right now. In fact, I have a viewer sending us a big thumbs up from there, and Shabnam Jain just sent me a message on Twitter and saying, "Hope Divine Mother blesses our country, our armed forces, and teach befitting lesson to our neighbor so that they never dare to do what they did with Indian citizens." Well, that's the way it is. Indians across the world watching the broadcast tonight, watching how the brave forces of Mother India today engaged in keeping the country safe and giving a bloody nose to Pakistan. But let me also tell you, we are also, and let me tell you that this is information that is being shared by ANI, agency ANI, telling us that a Pakistani Air Force jet has been shot down in Pathankot by the Indian Air Defence. Pathankot is clearly crossing the borders, coming to Pathankot, shot down. What does this tell you, really, Squadron Leader Panwar? Trespassing into Indian territory, befitting reply by our air defense systems. And after this, what really, I mean, their planes, the JF-17s, we got news of F-16, now an unidentified jet as well. They're falling like 9 pins from the skies.
Same, Nabika, what I said, that, you know, the man behind the machine need to be trained to exploit the max out of it. And also, I won't treat them as weak enemies. To be very frank, we have a plan, strategy, and we have a training in place. Before we did what we did on 7th of May, we were prepared. We were, you know, forces were placed and mobilized where they were supposed to be as per our war plan. And after what they did on, 8th of May, we were prepared, and especially air defense system was prepared, like missile defense systems like S-400. We have our planning in place that if this kind of situation arises, how system needs to be exploited at its max. And not only this, also army near Pathankot base has been activated. They are doing what is supposed to be done in these cases. I don't want to take name of the system because they haven't declared anything from their side yet. But as per my knowledge, the system that they have, they are exploiting it to its max, and hence till date, touch wood, we don't have any casualty and any mishap in terms of losing any asset in enemy territory or in our territory.
Absolutely, and we keep, crossing our fingers, and we keep praying that our defense forces, our soldiers stay safe, our pilots in the air, our entire defense forces stay safe. Every single Indian tonight must not sleep without saying a prayer for our braves and their families, simply because while we sleep, they're at the border, they're defending us, they're keeping India secure at a time when India is faced with a rogue nation, which is our neighbor Pakistan. Naam Pakistan, kaam bilkul napak. Na Pakistan should be the name of the country. Well, that's the feeling that's going on in everybody's mind. But we all deserve to pray for each one of those soldiers standing there, and each one of them and their families also part of the larger Indian family. And I want to get in Major General Dwivedi. Major General Dwivedi, not one success so far, thankfully, not one success to Pakistan so far, yet the misadventure continues. To what do you ascribe this? Is this complete illogical mind at work, or is this end game for Pakistan?
Because Pakistan Army has a DNA. It first acts and then it thinks. And that is the DNA of Pakistan Army. And they are only, they say history rhymes. And I think Asim Munir is going to rewrite the history for Pakistan. And they have never won a war against India. So they are heading for fourth, I think, consecutive crushing defeat. I remember we were on Dhaka. We are almost around Dhaka on 16 December. And what Pakistan, that time radio channels were claiming that Pakistan is winning. So that is the kind of, history Pakistan has. And they will always do that. 2 points I want to make. You brought out how, the American Foreign Secretary spoke to India and the counterpart in Pakistan. Please remember, Pakistan is a client state. So masters speak to the client state, the service provider, as Rubio spoke to their foreign minister, because Pakistan is a nation which lends to be used, abused and misused. And that's exactly the Chinese do. I have seen it for myself as defense attaché, how when in China, how the PLA people speak to the, Pakistan Army. The pointed issue is, Navika, Pakistan is actually, as I said, going to repeat its performance. They're heading for a very crushing defeat, and Pakistani generals have always let down the nation and let down the people. So Asim Munir is no different. He belongs to the same stable. And my last point is that we need to take this now to logical conclusion. We need to bring Pakistan on its knees, because this 3.5 decades of proxy war, I think, has gone for too long, and it has to be fought on all fronts, because such occasion we fight as a nation. It's a national war. So all elements of our national power must be brought into bear, not only through defense forces, but every element, including what great job you are doing as media, is very important. And I think this is a defining moment and is a turning point. And please remember, whole world must thank us. We are cleaning the system. We are cleaning a terrorist state. And I think to that extent, the whole world owes it to us, because Pakistan now is trademarked as a nation of terrorists. I think will definitely undergo a phenomenal change. There should be a new tag, and that onus lies with India, and I'm sure history will always remember this. Navik.
Well, clearly at this point in time, we have more information coming out. In Punjab, the government of Punjab has cancelled has shut down all educational institutions for the next 3 days. That's the latest that we are getting. Cancel of leave for police in Punjab also been announced by the government. So all schools and colleges will be shut over the next 3 days as a security preemptive measure, as well as the fact that cancellation of police has now been ordered. All leaves of police cancelled. What we are also being given to understand that the DRDO is going to hold a high-level meeting tomorrow to discuss further strategic details, and that also shows that the Indian Defence Forces and our various divisions of the Defence Ministry, including the DRDO, working overtime, working round the clock, and all of them absolutely stepping up the pressure, stepping on the accelerator to have all defense systems in place. And that is really the meticulous planning that is showing on the ground. What we are now also confirming is that total of five aircraft of Pakistan have been downed so far. These include JF-17s, 2 of them. A couple of others that we are talking about are unidentified. 1 F-16 certainly also there. So 5 aircraft down. And then the next big news that is also coming in is the fact that there is a heightened sense of security. I can also repeat tonight that our naval systems also on high alert, not just near Karachi, but all the eastern naval assets have been moved to the Arabian Sea to beef up the security on that front. But clearly, at this moment, India not backing down, preparing for the escalation, because India has always maintained from the beginning that India will take action against the terror attack at Pahalgam. The religious profiling that happened, the terror attack that happened, was against international order. India had the right to respond. And when India responded, day one, 9 targets were all terror camps. Pakistan did try to float a false narrative that some of these were religious institutions, but India said that if those religious institutions are turned into training grounds for indoctrination, then these are going to be seen as terror camps, and the world agrees with India. That was phase one. After that, 2 sets of misadventures by Pakistan, each of them being met with a very superior air defense system that India has had, and India has hit right back, each one of those drone systems being neutralized. Not just that, India has downed 5 aircraft of Pakistan, the fighter jets eating dust now. Each one of those drones and missiles have been neutralized. Not one of them has seen any success. Yesterday, Amritsar, Golden Temple on target. Today, Jammu and Vaishno Devi on target. The religious profiling of Pakistan, absolutely evident. The world is sitting up, taking notice. Pakistan is a rogue state. There's only one language that Pakistan will understand, and that is the language that the Indian Defence Services know very well. Pakistan will be flattened if it doesn't mend its ways. It has to give up terrorism. It cannot export terrorists forever, and that is India's loud call to Pakistan, and not just to Pakistan, to the rest of the world, that India is not backing off. The escalation will be responded to in equal and bigger measure, proportionate measure, but India is not going to back off. The political establishment, the strong political will that has been demonstrated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a message to the world. One has to look after one's own nation, will not take orders from anyone in the world. A rogue state has to be tamed, named, shamed, and on the way to being tamed. That is India's bottom line to Pakistan. That is the message, very clear, very unambiguous, and that is the road that we are going to follow. That message, how long will Pakistan take to understand, is anybody's guess. But General Shivani, do you think there is any other way to tame Pakistan? Now that we've come this far, what is the end game according to your own estimation?
It's a nation which goes to war. And when a nation goes to war, all instruments of national power are synergized in a symphony to complement each other. And then there is a politico-military aim which gives you the clear methodology and the focus. And in this case, it was a just war against terror launched by as a response to Pahalgam by India. It was not what we did earlier of mowing the lawn. It was to hit hard, hit where it hurts, and hurt where it lasts. But what was Pakistan's politico-military aim? They did not have any targets that they could justify to the global community inside India. So it was not a just war for them. It was a war of desperation, of face-saving, and saying that we are capable, which they are losing every day. My second point is, when you plan for war, it's not only planning, it's also posturing, it is also contingency planning, it is also the force application matrix. But beyond the military, there are several elements who are supporting it. War endurance and war stamina is a very, very important aspect of capability of the defense forces. And this war endurance and war stamina relates to the capability of the defense forces to be able to fight wars for prolonged period in terms of their war wastage rate, in terms of the ordnance factory support, in terms of the DRDO support. Look at Pakistan and India in this comparison. Pakistan's forex reserve have fallen. They barely have ammunition for a few days. They are short of fuel, they're short of water, and they are on their edge. Whereas, if they continue to escalate the war, the differential will continue to go adverse for them, and the impact that will have physically, lethally, psychologically, will be every response escalatory cycle will be geometrically higher than what they can ever expect as such. So I think they are already on a back foot. They're going to be hit hard, and if they're going to escalate this unjust war of theirs against our just war on terror, I'm afraid they will take a beating of their lifetime. Over to you.
Absolutely, and more breaking news coming in at this moment. Well, we're hearing that there are reports of naval firing exercises on the 8th of May that are coming in, which means that in the Arabian Sea, naval firing exercises beginning. That is what we are hearing from experts. This is speculation that's coming in that there is naval firing exercises that are going to take place in the Arabian Sea. Does this mean the use of naval power as well around the corner? Well, no official confirmation of that yet coming in, but notices for naval firing exercises being observed, and that could mean yet another front opening up. And with me is Ritanchu, my colleague, joining me, also coming in as I hand over this next hour to Pranesh Roy, who's joining you here. But naval firing exercises beginning now, and this could see a whole new Operation Sindoor 3.0 beginning sooner than we expected. How soon? What will happen? Well, that will be the official briefing. Early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. is now the new timing that we are hearing. But over to you, Ritanchu.
Thank you so much.